There's lots of those cues here. You may get quite a few.
That is okay.
They should never gave this dude a mic. Here we go! He's killing it. Watch out! He's showing love and he's mad about it. Mad love. That's why we say, come on, man, you already know. Mad love.
या देवी सर्वभूतेषु विष्णुमायते शक्तिता नमस्तस्यै 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 नमो नमः या देवी सर्वभूतेषु चैतन्यत्यादि दीयते नमस्तस्यै 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 नमो नमः या देवी सर्वभूतेषु बुद्धिरूपेण संस्थिता नमस्तस्यै 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 नमो नमः या देवी सर्वभूतेषु निद्रारूपेण संस्थिता नमस्तस्यै 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 नमो नमः या देवी सर्वभूतेषु क्षुद्धारूपेण संस्थिता नमस्तस्यै 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 नमो नमः या देवी सर्वभूतेषु
So I'm here real quick, everybody. Welcome to QSJ Radio, home to the unsigned artist, and we have a special guest. And I need you guys to please make sure you guys are saying enough stuff. It is 7:00 in the morning over there. It is already Friday. I don't even understand how this happens, but it seems like she's already used to this kind of life and doing these things. We talked in the background, but we have, I'm going to say names messed up. Please forgive me. I'm
yeah,
sure
no
that
problem.
Ananda?
Okay, Ananda.
Ananda.
So Ananda,
Ananda.
Ananda, long Ananda.
Ananda. Oh, you got to really add like 17 A's in there. Okay. Ananda. Xenia?
Xenia.
Xenia.
Mhm.
So
Shakti.
Shakti.
So Ananda means the divine bliss energy that is beyond duality. So it means not like bliss like rah rah, boom boom, we're so
Yeah.
happy. It's bliss that is a consistent state of really technically union with the divine, so that in all, no matter what is happening around you, you feel completely one with creation at all times, and that
Okay.
it's an undisturbed state.
Is this
Zin-
is this your real name?
This no Ananda Shakti is
Ananda
a
Shakti.
spiritual Ananda Shakti is a
Okay.
spiritual name that was given to me at least 20 years ago. So
Okay.
what happens in the tradition of yoga is that a guru, like an enlightened being, will give you a new name that is according to your soul's frequency.
Oh.
And so this
okay.
name will then help you actualize your soul's frequency, that you're not living in the what we call karmic patterns or samskaras.
Yeah.
You're not living in these false perceptions of yourself that you've
Yeah.
collected over time. You start to live in who you like, your deepest potential. So the Ananda Shakti means divine bliss energy. Shakti means power or energy. And
Wow.
so it's
I'm
yeah,
going to
it's a
get
beautiful
this name down packed before we go. But if we guys, thank you guys for tuning in. And Love Power the band. That is that, right? Love Power
That
the
is
band.
that.
It is
Yes.
Because people, the band Love Power, and it's
No,
Love Power the band. Okay.
Yes.
You guys create music for body and soul, vibrational healing, and celebrating the festival of life. So before we get into that, you used to tour with the Clash.
Huh.
Okay.
Yes.
We're talking the Clash, people. We're talking about throwback, okay? And background vocals for Blondie.
Yes.
And
Yes.
then something happens where you discover the teachings of yoga.
Yes.
Did this happen during tours or something? Or did it happen like you took a random trip or something?
No, it happened when I was living in New York City. So when we were doing the touring with the Clash
Had to be
and
New
singing
York.
with Blondie, yeah, we were living in Manhattan, and I was living already a different trajectory. Obviously, it's no secret that world was full of drugs and alcohol
It was
and
a
all
lot.
sorts of things,
Yeah.
right? Yeah. So
It was a lot.
but I was very young. I was still a teenager, but I had explored with things like that when I was even younger, and I was done. It was like I have this
tiring.
kind of personality. Yeah, it's like when it's not fun anymore, it just who needs
Yeah,
it? And
yeah.
so I walked into that world, not being involved in those things, even though I was in the midst of just the chaos of it, really. But I wasn't involved, and so. These people moved in downstairs from me. It was actually really fascinating because it was a young couple that were kind of hippie-like. It was way, way past the hippies, but they had that kind of vibration. And I really had never seen that before. It was like all new to me. But it turned out that they were, like the way that karma works, the children of a woman. Like my mother was in Toronto. She worked as a
Okay.
medical receptionist.
All right.
So one of the clients for that doctor, who was also my family doctor, that was her children. Like one of the couple was her child.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So these people that ended up in like the Lower East Side, off the Bowery, like in the total slum, in the basement apartment of the building that I was in the top floor of, we had this connection. We didn't know, we just met. So they started to introduce me to things like granola and spirulina and all these different things, right? And they said, and we're going to these yoga classes. Like, can I come to the yoga class? Because I was not doing what the other people were doing in my collective, and so that was how it happened. And then, so the yoga class was great. It was fine. It was inspiring, but it was actually when I went back to Canada that I met my first real spiritual teacher, and then I had a real spiritual awakening. And
So yoga to me is exercise, but that's basically what a commercialized version of it.
It is a commercialized version of it, and it is a distorted version of it because it's actually really interesting. The exercises that we do in yoga, and I'm a yoga instructor for many years. I train teachers internationally in that, and so I'm very aware of this. But the exercises that we do in yoga are not actually supposed to be done until you have something called yamas and niyamas in place, which are social and internal moral observations that you are basically acting like a good person. Like you have the sense to be out of selfishness and be in a striving for
But
this.
you gotta train, or you gotta get there. You just don't.
You gotta train.
You just don't get a certificate and just tell people to stretch. It's really backwards.
And the reason why is because the exercises are actually extremely powerful. And so if you unleash all that Shakti, all that powerful energy on a mind or emotional body that is still very unresolved and traumatized in some way, then it becomes amplified. And this is why we run into problems with yoga teachers. We run into like, why is there sexual inappropriateness? Why are there, financial inappropriateness? It's because their mental and emotional bodies have not been balanced first before they start to do these techniques that make everything stronger.
If you guys are just tuning in with us, we haven't even gotten to whatever, but we're talking to, I'm going to get this, Nanda.
Ananda, yes. Perfect.
Ananda. Okay. I knew I should have. I got to say this. I'm really bad at this. It's okay.
Okay.
I think it's okay. Okay, you introduce yourself real quick.
Ananda, Xenia, like Xena, the warrior
Xenia.
princess, but Xenia. It's got an
Xenia.
I. So think
Okay.
of it like Xena, but Xenia,
Xenia.
Shakti.
Shakti.
Yeah, Shakti.
Ananya.
Ananda, Ananda,
Ananda.
Xenia, Shakti.
Xena. Shakti.
Very good.
Oh my god. I got one of my chat members they're saying you and your names you can never pronounce it. So then you get this and I one of my brothers I talked to one of your besties last week, right?
Yeah, Sedona.
I talked to Sedona last week. I told her this story about how my brother found dance late, so he always was a performer, and it was and then he just started going to congresses and things where people like socialize and meeting international teachers and things like that. So when you first get your first look at your spiritual yoga teacher, where does the music come in? Because you're trying to get into this vibe, and next thing you know, you're just like, wait, hold up. I used to sing. I used to go on tour. We could add this into the mix. Like, how?
Okay. It's actually a much easier transition than it appears.
Oh, okay.
So when I leave that world, and I make this commitment. I'm still doing music, but I will do it only if it is going to enhance the wholeness of people, like that it becomes like part of my spiritual thing. So, I put ads in papers and things like that. I'm trying to find players, but it's not working, and so it takes some time to find the people. But innately in the Indian culture is something called kirtan and chanting and mantra, right? So the idea of making sound or singing songs as part of a very, very, very strong
Hold up.
part.
I think I know a few people that do that. That it's as intense as yoga, where you have to be basically welcomed in, like or trained for a very a long time. I don't know. I got a few people that think
that study maybe classical
yeah.
singing. Yeah, classical Indian singing is one thing, and kirtan is another. Kirtan is much more relaxed. Classical Indian singing is yoga, is absolutely yoga for the tongue, for the mind, for the heart, for the it's very, very, very intense, and it's a very, very deep study. Kirtan, which is the call and response kind of, maybe you're familiar with Krishna Das. Have you ever heard of Krishna Das? Yeah, so Krishna Das is one of the American kirtan singers that really actually made it very famous for the Western population. So this is what he does. He sings something, you sing it back. He says something, you sing it back. It seems very simple, but it starts to get very, very ecstatic. And so this is considered, for the time that we're in right now, in the yogic philosophy, we have yugas or eras, and we are in the era for an unknown period of time because all of these things are esoteric numbers, but we're in something called Kali Yuga, which means the Iron Age or the Dark Age or the time of materialism, where everything that we've experienced is what's happening. So, people being focused on material rather than on spiritual, people because of that, people being greedy and unkind, and there's conflict and there's all these things. And so they say it's actually very hard to awaken in the more subtle practices of yoga right now because the energy is a denser vibration, which is just simply natural. There's nothing wrong with it. We transit through these different vibrational atmospheric realities. So during that time, kirtan, the singing of the divine name, whatever that may be for you, it doesn't have to be a Sanskrit name, but the singing of the divine name and the gathering in groups to do it, they say, is the best way to reunify with your real self. But it's the thing that really works, because the singing has a density to it. It's like it has vibrational healing in it. It's like the opera singer can shatter the glass because of vibration and sound. Well, we're doing that all the time. We're creating things with vibration, or we're reorganizing things with vibration. And then when people come together in a collective, it's really, really powerful. So you see, and it's very ecstatic. So you'll find that a lot of the, I don't know about a lot, but I'm just thinking right now offhand, two that I remember, but I know there's more.
It's okay.
Of like rock, of people like Madonna, and remember Boy George
Yes.
and
Yep.
Madonna.
Yep. Yep.
So they both, at some point, and I'm sure there are many others, got involved in what we call bhakti yoga, like the chanting of yoga, because literally when we come together and we chant in that way, people are like, it's like a little bit like a punk thing. They're doing that pogo. They start to jump up and down, like people are whirling and spinning and dancing and singing. There's this ecstasy, but it's not destructive. You see, it's not pushing against something. Instead, it's in celebration of the love. It's really in celebration of the love, rather than in the punk world, we were like pushing against something all the time. And that's why there was so much self-destruction. Like people were rebelling, and in many cases rebelled themselves to death. It was like this.
Yeah.
But in yoga, in this bhakti yoga, in this devotional yoga, it's still that same like fervor and intensity, and like, wow, like the roof is being blown off the building, but it's about love.
Yeah.
It's about ecstasy and love. And so because I came from that Dionysian kind of energy in that punk world, it's not really even, so when my mood changed about what I was interested in life, it's not that big of a shift for me to shift it into that, because it still has that Dionysian frequency. We're like, we're breaking the form, but now we're doing it in a way that's completely transformative and not at all self-destructive. But we still get the opportunity, if you have that fiery nature, to be like super fiery and be super excited and just put yourself fully into it, and really literally be in a mosh pit. I mean, Indian temples are mosh pits like you've never seen. Like you can just get pushed in and like get knocked around until you get to the other door. Like they get so crowded, and everybody is like, falling on the floor, like to pray, and like up and down. You're trying not to step on people. And it's just like absolute, like beyond anything you've ever seen as far as organized chaos.
So for me, like I'm listening, I'm hearing you talk about so many Northern American areas, and then you end up in India. Like there has to be love in a lonely place or something there. I don't. How'd you get there, and is that where you reside now?
Well, I reside here not as an official citizen, but as a visa that allows me to stay for 6 months and have to leave for 24 hours, and then I come back for 6 months and 24 hours. Like I have a 10-year visa that does that. So I have a flat. I rent a flat here, and I've been here now for about 4 years now. I wouldn't have stayed this long if lockdown didn't happen, but I chose to. Just to hang here because it seemed like the easiest thing to do out of all the potential choices that I had at the time. And from the moment I entered, from the first time that I came to India, I was landing in Kolkata of all places. Like we hear so many stories about it being so intense, and it is an intense place. And I had friends that had been before, and everybody warned me about the culture shock, and don't worry, like just stay in your hotel room for like 3 days or something, and you'll get over it, then you'll be okay to go out. I stepped off the plane. Actually, the second a plane landed, and I started crying. Like I felt like I had come home. And then I stepped out, and like everything made sense to me. Like the beggars on the street, I'd never seen anything. It made perfect sense to me. Yeah. Like nothing disturbed me, nothing. And so I always have felt a real affinity. And then there's I'm not alone. There's a huge Western community that are Indiophites. I don't know what else you call them, and we meet each other all the time,
That's
nice. Then
nice.
you're in another city, and then, there you are again. And it's like this, there's lots of people that come here regularly.
So if it wasn't for lockdown, you wouldn't be there too long, but
no.
Wow.
Yeah.
But it's home right now.
But it's home for now. Yeah.
Which is good because you're happy, right?
Yeah, I am. Yeah.
If you guys are just tuning in, we're talking to Ananda, Xenia, Shakti.
That was pretty good.
I'll get it.
That was almost perfect.
Oh.
It's just Ananda.
Ananda. I gotta throw the 17 A's in front of that. I gotta remember that. So you say that you believe that our truest art's longing is to reunite with the divine song.
Yes.
Divine song. Like here, how we are in the West.
Yeah.
That we don't really take things deliberate. sometimes we separate it. What is the divine song?
So, in mystical states, and again, this has nothing to do with religion, it has to do with the religion of being a human being. It has to do with just the cosmology of being a human being. And you will read this through many different, if you read about study different paths, you'll read similar things. In divine states of meditation, people will hear a divine sound or song. And actually the heart chakra, if we can bring the idea of chakra, the heart chakra in Sanskrit is called anahata, which means unstruck. And so, wow, I'm going to cry talking about it now. It's the sound that comes without any cause. So it's the sound that comes before there's a cause. So it's the sound that's directly linked to divinity, or however you wish to see that. So there are sounds that are caused, and these are sounds that are karmic causes, like we come into form and we create in this kind of way. And then there is something that is beyond all of that, and that lives in every person's heart. And when people can reconnect with that in their heart, regardless of their belief systems, it doesn't matter. They reconnect to a sense of their whole being love, that they really are love, and that everybody is love, regardless of how they may be behaving, that underneath it all, that they are love, and they are in a state of forgetting, and they are in a state of wounding, they're in all these, we could go on and on about what afflicts people, but they are in an afflicted state, but they are love, that is their essential nature, and that creation is a benevolent experience of love, and that lives in every person. And I can't, in all my explorations, and I've been as streety as anybody could be, out on the streets, just like leaving school early. No, I just want to learn on the street. Like that's, school is not for me. This is not for me. I've done all of those things. I don't believe that I can be any different than anybody else. That really what our seeking is we're seeking for that reunification. We're seeking to know that we are truly loved, that we're not any of these other stories that we've been told that we are, that we've created within our own selves, and all these other conditionings that make us feel less than and make us feel disconnected. So that's really what my life has always been about. And when I came from the punk world and I really had that awakening, I understood that everything I was doing in that punk world and everything I was doing before the punk world was all about trying to find that. Yeah. And so when I realized what I was trying to find, then it was easy for me to leave it because I had found it,
Wow. Divine. Wow. And as your emotions were coming, as you were trying to define it for me, I know what that feeling is, where, it's at its purest form. That's what like, a feeling at its purest form. Now, I don't want to take away from her definition or anything like that. I'm just like, I've always wanted to have people understand that nothing is what it really looks like. Right? Yes. It's really not about, everybody is trying to be careful of something that, no one's really happy because they're too worried about what someone else is going to say. But if you're not going to hurt anyone, you okay?
So yeah.
If you're not hurting anyone, then you shouldn't be afraid. But if you are going to hurt someone, just think about that, because it's really not you. You're just falling into something, and something is distracting you to seeing what it is that you're really, people don't understand people. Okay, I get it. But if luckily my first 20 years of my adult life, I was able to travel the world. And what I thought was, and it was because I was in the service, you know, and I remember being on a tour. It was in Djibouti, and I went to Djibouti. You know, it's nuts over there. Let's get serious, okay? So, but I never understood the curtains on a van, right? But I've seen it before in certain cultural areas here in the States. I've seen people have the big vans and have curtains on their vans, but now I'm in a different world where I was already full of movies, propaganda, all that stuff. So when I saw a van with curtains on it, I stereotypically said, I'm probably not going to make it. Right? Because I thought it was in a different culture and they were out for our culture, you know, how they do that. But and you know, as I went and I kept doing our tours and I kept opening up because I, you know, and then I started seeing some of my sailors friends were like, oh, this food is disgusting and stuff like that. We were one-minded, and I just can't be with these people, because now I understand, like, I didn't say it out loud that I was afraid, but I was like, this is new culture. I'm just embrace it. I'm going to take it in. And then the people that I was with were kind of like, oh, this is disgusting. This is that. Let me go get some McDonald's. Like, it was really like, really? And I kind of knew that I had to push myself away from people who didn't embrace different. Right. That's and if people didn't embrace different, then we weren't the same as much as it says. But anyways, I guess I get that feeling and I understand somewhat. But when it comes to like music, I only heard that in maybe like 4 chords. Right. If you get the 4 right chords, they make you cry. Right, and I heard that in a lyric from a 90s band.
Wow.
But you know, it gets to that point where I believe, yes, you know, your vision is always to focus towards the emerging opposites to oneness, right? The oneness is so hard. It's so hard. Like, because
it's hard. But you know what? You get to it. I agree. It's hard to a certain point, and then it's different. But there's nothing else really to do. You get to a certain point when you realize that's the only reason you came here. It's not about your job. It's not about your kids. It's not about, you know, what you did well or what you didn't do well. It is to discover that you are one, and in that oneness that you are love, and that this is what we came here to remember, and this is what we came here to share with each other. So there's a point where and yes, you have to deal with all of your ego preferences, and that is the hard part. But when you realize there's really nothing else to do that's of really deep importance, then that's the motivation. And then there's a point where enough of you've managed to get enough of the ego ideas, it's like a scale, the scale tips. And so there's not as much ego leading it anymore, which is the fear and the separation. That's really what ego is fear and separation, ideas that bring fear and separation. And then it's like every time it rises up, you really become the witness, and you're able to okay, it's not you. It's not you. It's not you. I'm not that. Because it's so beautiful what you say about people are really not that. People are really not that. And we have this, everybody's familiar with this word karma. They think of it as like some kind of cause and effect, like
something, thing, but it has to be bad, but it's not. It's not. It's and karma, and just to let you know, it doesn't come right now. It comes later.
Well, there's different speeds of karma, but also karma just actually means action. And and really, from the highest perspective, the karma is an imprint, like a story that we're carrying, that is just an unresolved story. That it is working with the theory of past lives. So one has to have that in their bag. But the unresolved story that creates our personality, and it's like the biggest, and it's got some affliction in it. And that affliction, as human beings do, we share very nicely with everybody around us. We project it out to, we're very generous with it. We project it, we do all sorts of things with it, but we're really here to discover that that's not what we are. And that's not what anybody else is. None of those wounded behaviors are what anybody is. It's some kind of problem, that they've run into that they have not resolved.
If you guys are just tuning in and wondering what we're talking about, we're literally talking about music. We're talking about music, and it's because it's in a deeper sense. Because it's in a deeper sense. Because a Love Power the Band concert, right? I don't. Are you directing this stuff? Is somebody choreographing? Because from what I'm hearing, it brings in all this to the audience as if we're in what is it? Dissolving the barrier, right? Dissolving the barrier, because when people go to a concert, it's like I'm going to see someone who is playing my favorite songs live, and then I'm going to see them perform, and I'm going to perform with them. But then there's still a barrier where after it's over, it's just over.
Right.
What is unique about a Love Power the band?
Well, Love Power the Band, in our concerts, what we do is something that we call interactive music, which means that it's not just call and response. The audience actually gets a part. It gets a vocal part of the song that they have to hold down, and there'll be somebody on stage that will help them, like lead them so that they know it. But they're part of the song. If they don't hold their part, the song doesn't sound as good. And so they become part of the band. So the band and the audience become one, and it's an amazing experience of that breaking down of the boundaries between audience and performers and all of those things. But really, what it's really, its greatest hope is that it's by doing this, by coming together, by coming together and interacting, like that they become part of the actual band, part of the music, that we start to realize that we all have this divine song within us. It's about the oneness. And it becomes so ecstatic and so much fun.
Wow. Because
you're really in it together. And people, like, I just adore it, and the audience just loves it. It's really, really, it's beautiful. It's a beautiful
So if
experience.
you guys are just tuning in, we're talking a lot, okay? And some of it is it might not make sense, but what we'll do is we'll display some of the music now.
Oh, great.
Take a break real quick. Here is a song, Cosmic Quiver, right? That's
our new single.
This is a new single.
That's our new single. It was just released on May the 13th.
And I don't know the language.
It is a combination of Sanskrit, of the ancient Indian language, and Hindi. So it's kind of like a funny dialect. It's like a dialect that just comes from a particular area. So it's not actually really a fully specific language.
Okay. All good. Cosmic Quiver.
Can I say one more thing about it?
Yes.
So this song, because our song is vibrational healing music, this song is directed towards the third eye, the cosmic eye, to awaken this third eye. And this third eye, if it awakens in us, when it awakens in it, not if, because it will in everybody at some point, when it awakens in us, then we start to see the bigger picture. We start to not take everything personally. We start to have insight, vision, start to really see the essence of creation and everything. This is like taking a vacation from all of you.
I need one of that
stuff. Yeah. So this music is designed to awaken that, and it's a praise to one of the Indian deities named Shiva, who is the manifestator of this third eye, the one that represents this great vision and this overcoming of all illusion and fear.
Let me just remind you guys, okay? She used to be in the background singing for Blondie and used to tour with the Clash. And then things happen, which is beautiful. Okay.
Thank you.
Cosmic Quiver. We definitely gonna. There's more people. There's more. Only love is real. Love for those who want more information. There is a Facebook. There is a Facebook with the name that I can't pronounce.
Ananda Xenia Shakti.
Oh, that just flows right out of your mouth. Okay. And Instagram, only love is real.love, if you guys want to follow on Instagram. Social media was not around when you first started music. It wasn't important until the last 10 years, from what I gather, because probably like you and me, as we grew up, but you grew up faster or before me, that being online was weird at one time. It was just it was a cause of people that were downstairs too long, right, or in a basement. And now all of a sudden you have to be on there to even make a name for yourself. It is very, very transformation. How are you doing online? And yeah, I know it's a hard day. I've been online forever, and I can't even get my curls to make to break the internet. but I'm not trying to either, because I feel like if I do that, I'm trying too hard. But when it comes to the music promotion online, has it been helping, or has it been still a weird grind?
I mean, what I love about being online is I like creating the things, the posts and stuff like that. And I love, just writing like really interesting things and putting, music together with graphics and things like that. That I love. And then the fact that it has like a meaning that I get so excited about. Excuse me. What I don't love is the grind of it, like the expectation that it has to be a particular way. And I don't like, from myself or from anybody else, the vibration of selling things. I think it's very schizophrenic. I almost think there should be one online platform that's just for professional things where everybody is selling their stuff, and one where we're talking like friends, because like it just feels like it gets all like
all put into
all
one
mixed up,
place.
and then like you're trying to talk to your friend, but really it's a sales pitch, and like
Yeah.
I don't.
Hey, by
like
the way,
that.
I got merch out. If you love me,
Yeah.
go ahead and
yeah.
what I mean? It's ridiculous.
I don't like it that way. And I don't know, I guess time will tell. I mean, what I do love about it is it's connected people. I mean, I'm connected to people that I would never have known, most likely, and if we were doing this, we would never be able to do this, but many people. And that I really appreciate about it. I just think it's something that you have to know how to navigate. And if you do it the way that you're supposed to do it to be successful online, then I think you probably...
I don't know what supposed to be is, like,
I mean, well, like, there's all these courses, and I know lots of people that have taken courses.
I'm not sitting here for 30 minutes for somebody to tell me I need a social media schedule, and people say that. People really do say that. They're like, you need to go ahead, you need to find your analytics, you need to go in there, and you need to... look, if you build it, they will come. That's it.
I think so. I think so too. Yeah.
I think that I think whatever you're doing, it is working. I know that's one thing. And you spend what's crazy is that now, well, not crazy, but you spend a great deal of time in India, and you have taken that ancient language that maybe even some of the locals haven't even understood how powerful it is. Your vision is always focused towards merging of the opposites to the oneness. We discussed that earlier.
Mm-hmm.
But taking this modern audience, how does this band come together? Where this didn't come over the tea table, this.
Well, I was super lucky because, as you can hear, the music has an edge to it. It's not like it's ambient, like just it's not like that.
It's not like
it's not like that, but yet it's geared to still awaken in that way. Mm-hmm. And as in my position as a yoga instructor and a yoga trainer, mostly, I've had different people come, in as students, and we're always very close. Like, I keep all of my trainings numbers quite small, like under 20 people, because I believe that it's meant to be very one-on-one. You're helping a person transform their whole existence, and so bigger numbers I don't think it works in. And so it's a very intimate experience. And I'm always singing in the classes, and then eventually a few players came in that were interested in playing, and then we would just go, okay, let's run
sing it in class,
and let's just do it, right? And then, but it turned out that they all had like all these like really strong rock backgrounds, or like heavy, like alternative music and Indian roots and things like that. And so the thing that was so fascinating for me was that I'm an intuitive, like a channel. I'm a channel, and I call myself an intuitive, interdimensional healing artist. So which means that I'm speaking to beings, specific. In my case, I speak to the angelic realm beings from other dimensions, and I bring their message into this 3D world for people, individually, like in individual sessions or as a collective, to help them unhook from what we were talking about before, from the patterns within themselves that are not what they really are, and to align themselves with the love that they really are.
We need to talk. We need to talk.
Anytime.
We need to talk because I got a lot of things right here. I need them on my shoulder. I need to disconnect.
No, everybody does. This is the reason that we're here. And so the music that I bring forward also comes in from these realms. Many times I'm just like in a state of meditation, boom, the whole song comes, okay, do this, do this. So I really feel like I'm in this mission of communicating between the dimensions for people, like interdimensional communication. And so I have an idea of the music, I have a feeling for the music, but I don't have many musical skills anymore. I used to play guitar in the band, but now I really just bring, like very little. But these guys, they were all guys. They are all guys. They got it. Like they would just get it without me even having to do anything. They just pick up and they start to like, and they're turning guitars into sitars and they're doing all these things. And I'm like, oh, okay. Like you guys, you just hear it. They just hear it, and they hear the edginess of it. They're able to bring the whole thing in, which is so unusual, I have to tell you, because when I take my music into a studio to record it, the first thing that almost every engineer wants to do is like make it really pretty and make it really in this kind of a way. And I have to fight them. Like, no, it's raw. No, it's like this. And no, like
Wait,
I need
hold on.
like, you know.
Did she just say fight them? Like, what?
Yeah, I mean, I have
That
to
is
be
not
strong,
the divine song. Let me stop.
Well, I don't mean like I'm kicking their butt, but I mean I'm standing up.
Yes,
for like,
yes.
For how, because they
because
hear
you want it to be exactly how you guys came to see it. Please do not filter what I'm trying to bring. Like and I have a softer. I mean, I have a kind of pretty voice, and so I understand that they hear certain things and they catch. You know, it's their job to kind of catch the sound in the way that they catch it. But I'm no, that's not it. And because it's a really unique genre, like this is what I'm hearing from a lot of the reviewers, is that they say like they've created their own genre. We really can't fit them into anything else, but they're full power in it. They do it completely, but it's their own genre. And I didn't understand that. I didn't realize that, you know, when we were doing it. It was nothing intentional, and there was nothing even that I realized about it, you know, but I understand now more after the fact that it's hard to pinpoint it. But these guys, man, I was so blessed. They just get it. They totally get it. It's amazing. A Love Power band, right? Love Power, the band.
Love Power, the band.
Love Power, the band. With the name, obviously.
Well, the name was Love Power, and then it didn't take me long to decide that I needed to search that and see that people were using that. So then Love Power, the band, because Love Power was clothing, Love Power was this, Love Power was music, Love Power was a song,
Love Power was a hashtag. I don't know.
Yeah, like it's a huge one. So I went, okay, well, this is Love Power, the band, and that's how it became that. Yeah.
It's really
and then
nice.
I ended
really
up putting Ananda, Xenia, Shakti in front of it, which I use technically, but not all the time because it's too much of a mouthful. Just because I've been traveling so much and the guys are all in Canada. I'm not always playing with them now, you know, for now, until we get back together. So I have done some recording, like the recording that you just heard was done here in India with different players, you know. And so Love Power, the band, becomes something that can change. Like Ananda, now I can't even say it.
Wow.
Ananda, Xenia, Shakti.
That's me. I gave too much.
So Ananda, Xenia, Shakti stays consistent, and Love Power, the band, changes according to where I happen to be at the time. But there is a foundational band that when we reunite, it'll be heaven.
I can't wait to participate in something like that, just to see what's up. Big shout out to everybody listening. Ananda. Xenia, Shakti. Almost. Okay. We're going to play a little game because I got to get that name. I really do.
We have now started our fast round where our guests are asked a few questions about themselves that they wouldn't expect us to ask. Don't worry, it's not like that. Hope you didn't think we were that underground.
Well, if you guys didn't know, we are on the middle of our fast round. It is what, 8:30 in the morning where you are right now? How?
It's 8 o'clock.
8 o'clock. Well, we do something with our watches every 6 months here. Um, so these are just random questions, nothing with music. And if it does go this or that, this is this or that if you've never played.
Okay.
This or that is just this or that.
Okay.
Cat or dog?
Cat.
Netflix or YouTube?
Ooh. YouTube.
Shout out to YouTube. Phone call or a text?
Phone call.
Toast or eggs?
Toast.
Cardio or weights?
Cardio.
Right? Facebook or Twitter?
I'm not even on Twitter, so Facebook.
Facebook. Facebook is getting fishy. I don't know.
Well, it's totally fishy, but
Yeah.
whatever.
Ice cream cone or a snow cone?
Ice cream cone. My God, yeah.
When you're walking, music or podcast?
Podcast.
I like listening to people.
Yeah.
It's just it's a good thing to listen
Yeah.
to more people.
Yeah.
This is going to be a controversial one here, but I think I know the answer.
I'm ready.
iPhone or Android?
iPhone.
iPhone, let's go.
Did you know? Did you know that?
Yes,
that
I could see.
You can tell I'm an iPhone girl.
Formal or function when it comes to a party or a get together?
What is? I like people to dress formally and have a casual time. So what does that mean?
I don't know. This might be maybe not even a question, but pop or indie when it comes to genres?
Indie.
Cake or pie?
Ooh, pie.
Swimming or sunbathing?
Swimming.
Is it hot there?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know how people stay in the heat.
Like 45 degrees, 50 degrees. Sometimes it's.
Let me convert that.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So 120, 125.
Are you serious?
I'm serious. Like I've gotten now that if it's 100 degrees, I think I need a sweater. Like that's how much my system has changed. I'm like, what? It's 100 degrees and you're thinking it's cold out. What is going on?
Okay. That you need some water. No, let me stop.
Yeah.
Are you high tech or low tech?
Oh God. Medium tech. I'm sorry. I can't go. I can't
Yeah.
choose either of those.
You know, it's a thing when you're really high techy, but it's too much. And when you're
Yeah.
not low techy because you're within the
no.
times, like
Yeah.
big party or a small gathering. You know,
I
you're a
love them.
performer, so it's like
I know. Like I love them both so much for different reasons. I really like a big party, but I really appreciate an intimate gathering too. Like I think they're both exciting and wonderful and stimulating and inspiring for completely different reasons. So I'm sorry, I can't choose.
okay, we're past. Yeah, I understand. Work hard or play hard?
Play hard.
She still got it. She still got it. What's worse, laundry or dishes?
Laundry.
I think I have clothes I haven't folded in 3 weeks.
I never fold my clothes. They always just come out of one thing and then into the other one.
Okay,
In
there you
between-
go. Yeah.
In between, I wear them.
I yell at a lot of kids in this house for not folding their clothes, but I close my room door. Bath or shower?
Bath, like 100%. I don't even know how people stand showers.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. I haven't taken a bath in a while, but
Right.
not, I've taken a shower. It's good.
Well, okay, so in India, they really don't have bathtubs, but they have buckets that you have this scooper and you pour water on yourself. So you take a
Yeah.
bucket bath. And so I haven't had, except for at one point I ordered a blow up bathtub. That's how intense it was. But then finding enough hot water to fill it was another thing. But baths, oh my God, I can't wait to like lie in a bathtub for like a really long time.
Okay. It's late here and, you're getting comfortable and I can't, you know what I mean? I'm alone out here. All right. At a movie, candy or popcorn?
Popcorn.
Now, and a good old American question here. It's kind of controversial again.
Okay.
I don't even know why we're still having this fight, but Coke or Pepsi?
Pepsi. I haven't actually had either of those for so many years, but I remember that I like the taste of Pepsi better.
A card game or a board game?
Oh, card game.
Now this is coming into your realm right here.
Okay.
Classical art or modern art?
Oh God, what a question. I can't choose. I like them both the same.
They are. You can't.
Yeah.
You can't like stop the future.
Yeah.
But you have to make the past last. Like you
Yeah,
have to.
and you appreciate it so much. Yeah, yeah.
All right, low techie, high techie, check. Here we go. Book or ebook?
Book. Cannot tolerate ebooks.
Is it because of the screen?
Yeah. It's like it feels so unnatural to me to be reading on a screen like that. It is not pleasant. I like feeling the paper and I like seeing things on the paper. And I don't like having to deal with all those extra vibrations coming from the screen when I want to read.
Yeah, that's right. She's about the vibrations. God. Well, that was it for our fast round. That was it.
Okay.
Not crazy. Just to get to know, that, you just don't do this 24 hours a day, but you do, as a teacher and instructor. And I'm sure that you hear about the news that happens here because they make, for some reason, the United States a highlight of civilization, which we all know that there's better civilizations out there. During these times right now, how do you find the positive? How do you find the positive? Because it is so hard.
This is my answer is going to probably be very unusual. In the channeling work that I do, when I am in this interdimensional state, we were told about this time coming a long time ago in the 90s. We were pre-told, and we were told how to prepare for it on an inner spiritual level, and that it is a great birthing of consciousness. So I mean that there's things that will be we were told, it's going to be very difficult. People are going to be in so much fear. It's going to be a collective experience. But what it's doing is it's shaking out all of the old and dead and tired patterns of humanity so that this new reality, this new human being can be birthed. And there's many different names for this new human being. It's no longer Homo sapien. I call it heaven and earth being. There's all sorts of different names. But it is a human being that is connected to their divine nature and their earthly nature simultaneously, and therefore acting in the betterment of the greater good, including their own evolution. So we've been waiting for it in some ways, and as it arrived, it's like, okay, we're here. So for me, it's always been this experience of like, we're finally here, this is birthing. I don't discount the suffering. I don't discount like all of this. I work with people all the time in supporting and all of these kinds of things. But I know that what's really taking place is that the vibration of light is greater on the earth than ever before, even though we look around and we see like, wow, it seems darker than ever before. But it's because more light has come in. It shines the light on the things that we haven't seen. And we just don't have enough understanding that that's a natural process of evolution. We start to interpret it as something bad and scary and nefarious and all these other projections, rather than a natural process of reclaiming things that have been in the dark and changing that energy so that our field is more unified. So without any lack of sensitivity to the suffering, because as I say, I'm not insensitive to that. I actually celebrate this time as, so I really hold a very positive view about it, and that's what I work to communicate to people. This is the time of like clearing things out, and this is the way that it works. At creation itself, we just don't like to look at it this way, but it includes creation, preservation, and destruction. Everything dies at some point, and that is deemed by divinity, however you name it. It's natural, but we have such an aversion to the dismantling part of it that we project into it as being something horrible and tragic and all these things, rather than a natural stage of life. It's as natural as birth, but something also dissolves. So there is a lot of dissolution taking place around. There's a lot of dismantling, and that which no longer can hold a higher frequency is actually dissolving. And my power just went out. This happens. Dissolving like the power.
We can see you. We can still see you.
So I see it as something very positive, very positive.
That is incredible. It's as much as you probably thought it was going to be weird, it's needed. It's needed. Yeah. Because what is the first thing people do? They'll reach out to churches, temples, and ask for some kind of answer. And these are the answers they get, and as long as they keep the politics out of it, people will understand that, we don't understand why, but it is. And
yes.
And that's all we got for you guys tonight before we start hugging cats and
actually, I regret that I chose between a cat and dog. I'm actually equal. I'm rewriting that one.
Okay. Oh, good. Hopefully nobody memes you. So I'm going to try the name again. Ananda.
You did it. That's good. You got Ananda.
Ananda. Xenia.
Xenia. Mm-hmm.
Ananda, Xenia, Shakti.
Perfect.
Thank you so much for being on here with us to share your experience, not only from being a punk rock girl in the 70s and 80s and 90s, and coming out with this transformation of music that the world needs to hear. And we can't wait to hear more. Cosmic Quiver is out right now. It is topping charts all over the place right now, which is incredible. And we can't wait to hear more.
Yeah, and can I please just say this one thing? So
yeah,
please, if you feel inspired, please jump on and, listen to our music, see our videos, and reach out. Like, how does it make you feel? Maybe you have questions. Maybe it moves things in you and you want to dialogue about it. I'm really available for this. This is really what I'm here for. So feel free to message me on YouTube or in social media and all of these kinds of things. We're in this together. We are in this together. Let's do it.
And she is up all the time. Okay. And when she told me in the back, she's like, "This is late." I'm like, "What? It's late." Well, have a wonderful day and a weekend.
Thank you. And have a beautiful night.
And I can't wait to talk to you again.
Thank you so much. Bye for now.
I gotta practice that name a little bit. Big shout out to Ananda, Xenia, Shakti, which I messed that up, and the Love Power, the band. Music is out right now. Go ahead, follow. Go ahead. Just go ahead. It's fine. It's okay. Get some positivity in your life. Transform it. Incredible. Thank you so much for tuning in to QSJ Radio, home to the unsigned artists. I got to make a life-changing decision here in the next 15 minutes. So if I was you guys, I would try to stay away from situations like that. Oh my gosh. What am I about to do? Big shout out to everybody listening. Tune in to QSJRadio.com, home to the unsigned artists. We will see you guys this Saturday, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I got something to do for the next 24 hours, and we will see you guys soon. It is not my effing birthday yet, G. You heard?
They should never gave this dude a mic. Here we go! He's killing it. Watch out. He's showing love and he's mad about it. Mad love. That's why we say, come on, man, you already know. Mad love.
Yo, I was hyped to see Hyper in there. I was hyped to see Hyper. Yo, I was hyped. Why am I so hyped to see Hyper? Oh, I gotta stop doing that. Anyways, big shout out to y'all, man. Should we go somewhere? Yo, E, you good today? You chilling somewhere? How you gonna tell me that you saw the interview, but you probably chilling somewhere? You are at the club. Oh my God, Hyper's in here! Yo, don't do that to your boy. Don't do that to your boy. Don't do that. Don't do that to your boy. Don't do that to your boy. To answer, I think Eddie was asking me questions earlier. I don't know if she could hear me, if she got like one ear on something, but I'm gonna tell you something. Let me tell you, like, I've received a lot of packages, and I'm like, I'm a little overwhelmed. It's kind of crazy. It's kind of cool. The kids are like bugging out, like, here it goes, the goat's birthday. But I know Hyper been here. Listen, I got to decide right now what I'm about to do, because I got to see if I'm going to make this drive. If I make this drive now, I'm probably going to be back by like 12 in the afternoon. I just got to decide this stuff right now. Melee. Melee's in the building. Shola. It's loud in there. Let's see how loud it is. Why did that stream elements now show up with the links? Are you kidding me right now? Are you kidding me right now? It's over. It's okay. We're gonna have a great day. Yay. I gotta do so much to this thing. Y'all ready to show love? Do I? I don't know. There you go. You get a I don't know. Let's go raid. Vitamin check. Yes! Those small little texts, they just be helping me. Hyper, how are you doing? Hyper, did you take your goat vitamin today? Did you take your goat vitamin today? Like, what the hell is a goat vitamin?